So we're coming along with our bookshelf build here, using some of the wood that we acquired from when we were taking stuff out of the house, replacing with drywall. So there's plenty of different types of woods here. Haven't built one of these before, so this is a new adventure for me, but since we have spare time on our hands these days, there is ample time to kind of sit down and do this, or stand up and do this. So got the requisite required tools. Have a nice planer here. That does a nice job. The hand planer, I'm pretty good at it now, so I make it pretty smooth now. Drill. What I'm going to do is use the handy dandy Gorilla Glue. Try to say that 3 times fast. Gorilla Glue, and what's going to happen is that we're going to put the dowels in here. See, I can come up with all these fancy terms, right? Dowels, Gorilla Glue, etc. Anyways, so I've already pre-drilled these. I lined them up by eye. So far it's been good. I've done it with this one, so I think I have an okay eye. We will see for when we continue this, but so far so good. So unfortunately the Gorilla Glue nozzle has decided to close up for business, so I've improvising by putting some here. We'll just dip the little dowels in there and that should be all right. Ooh, close up. So what we'll do is stick the dowels in here, as you can see. There we go. Do another one here. And the last one. There we go. And we're going to use big monster hammer. The dowels in. We're going to bang them in. And the key here is really the drill depth as well. I used some chalk to drill, or to mark the drill, so I would drill all the way through, and then the dowels go all the way inside, and then you've got a real mess on your hands. So, great. So I'm going to double check now, just to make sure that the business that I did here lines up, and it seems to be good. Yeah. All right, good. So what I'm going to do is use my little block of wood here, and I'm just going to get a little more Gorilla Glue, and gotta watch it just not to break the dowels as well, because that'll cause you some grief. This one's a little off, but let's see if we can get it in anyways. There we go. All right. So now, just gently as much as possible, bang them in. Yeah, decided. One key thing as well, make sure your area is clear so you can actually hammer, because that's a pain, really, seriously. All right, there you go. So, a little bit more. There we go. Nice. Pretty good, pretty good. All right, so there you go. I'm gonna have to take a little bit off with the planer here. They're not exactly even. Even though this is a bit of a rustic shelf, I'd like to, make it as clean looking as possible. So the planer I'm gonna let these dry, but the planer will take care of this, I guess, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, whatever it is. And then we'll have a clean cut, and then I'll be able to put this, I'm gonna use deck screws to fasten it. I was gonna do dowels, but you know what? The deck screws will work. They're nice looking, kind of, I don't know what color you would call them, but they're kind of the gunmetal gray, I guess, deck screws. So that it'll look nice on the top. And you know what? I mean, we're gonna compete with IKEA here, but it's a pretty good thing. So that's what we have. Okay, so while we're waiting for the other dowels to dry on the other piece, I'm going to plane these. Again, I'm going to show you how I do it with the hand planer. I've already pre-cut them using the skill saw and using the table saw to trim. These pieces, if you can tell, have a tongue and groove. So I've trimmed off one side. I'll just leave this other side because you know what? I wanted a little bit more of the width of the wood. And it doesn't look like that. It's kind of an interesting look when it's all put together. But there's some old paint on here, so we want to remove that. So I'm going to do it right now. All right, let's fire this up. As you can see, not too bad. And I got to just trim, move this out of the way a little bit. Nice and clean. nice and clean. Good looking wood here. The other side's already done, so I won't worry about that. Put that up there. We're ready to just do some marking here. I'm gonna put 3 dowels in, just evenly spaced more or less. No one's gonna see them, so I'm not gonna be worried about too much about the measurements on the dowel spacing, just as long as it's even, just so we get a nice tight fit. I'm gonna grab our drill again, and we're just gonna hand drill. I'm gonna center it in the middle of the wood. It goes down. I gotta actually put some new chalk on, so I'm gonna take the chalk, just do a little bit of marking here. It does come off, but I could go back into the house and get tape, but I'm being lazy. So we will do it this way, and it's served me well so far. So we go down that far, maybe a little bit more. Oh, we're good. We're good there. Let's not go too far. And now here, good. And the last one, great. And then mash that in. All right, let's see how it goes together. So let's do a little more glue on the other side. And maybe a little more glue, why not? It's a big bottle. The stuff's great. Problem is, if you don't use it too often, it'll rust up on you. There we go, see, it's a big glob. All right, that's okay. It'll get used, it works still either way. Dip that, and dip that. Put that over there. Yeah, this is gonna have to, yeah, we're okay, I think. Ooh, whoa, watch out. You don't want to hear snapping sounds. So just all right, that's pretty good. Yep, that'll seal it. So that's the other shelf. So the other one that's dried, yeah, there we go. Got a little bit of uneven wood here. That was just not a good cut. So I'm gonna plane it, because there's not a lot to take off, and that'll be nice and even. So let's do that. We'll just stick it on the ground and do that, and let's see how we can do it. As you can see, we're pretty good. Yep, that's pretty good. So that's nice and even, as you can tell, more or less. I'm gonna take, actually, there's a little curving, so I'm gonna go from the other side and straighten that out. Right, so that'll come together like that. So what we're gonna do is place this on its side. These deck screws are nice and long, so they'll hold really well. I'm not putting anything really heavy on this anyway, so we'll just, so you can see. There we go. I'm going to put the center shelf in, but it's looking quite nice. Not too bad, if I may say so myself. It's a bit rustic looking, but that was, you know, again, this goes in a century home, and that's kind of the look I'm going for. All right, so we banged the middle piece into place. Make sure it's straight. So we've measured out, I put the middle piece in, and it is 7.5 inches. This one, so what I'm gonna do is screw one side in at a time, or one. So what I'm going to do is just screw this side and that side, just so I can make sure the shelf is even. I'm going to do that. I'm going to push this in a little bit. All right, perfect. And let's just remeasure just in case. Yep, 7.5 and 7. Okay, so we'll use our handy dandy deck screws to do this. And put in the middle. Nice and easy. Whoop, I'm slipping. Go. Let's see if she's still 7.5. Yep. Just a little bit less, but it should be okay. 7.5 there. nice. Actually, that was easier than I thought. Okay. Lift this up. Now, the key here is we're gonna make sure, again, that it's 7.5. Here we go, nice shelf. May do some staining on it. These pieces of block woods are a little different colors, so it's on the cord, that's why it's not even. But pretty solid. There's some bits and pieces that I'm gonna glue as well, but otherwise, looks pretty good. Anyways, that's, if you guys have any questions, send me your questions on Facebook, comments, or direct message me. But yeah, very basic tools that you need. And here's the finished product out in the nice sunshine.